Hey everyone, and welcome to the Going Alcohol Free podcast. This is episode 3, and this is day 3 of our dry January. How you feeling? How are you today? I know that yesterday was January 2nd, which we officially started. So yesterday was probably hopefully a dry day for you. If not, that's okay. Start today or start tomorrow. But I remember usually after I stopped drinking, that day, I usually was just hungover and just felt awful. And it's usually the next day, which would be today, so the day after without alcohol, was kind of the worst day for me, where I just had so much cravings for alcohol. I just wanted it. I felt like I needed it. And I'm hearing from a lot of you that sugar is also you're craving sugar. And of course you're going to crave sugar or alcohol because both of those give our brain dopamine hit. They're both very similar and different, but similar in the fact that they provide our brain with a dopamine hit, and alcohol is obtained by fermenting sugars. So there you go. That is why you're craving those things. And so you're not alone if you are craving those. We're going to give you some, I'm going to give you some tools today to put in your toolbox to help you plow through those cravings because we're not going to give in to them. We're actually going to handle them. Because one of the things that I want to make sure that we don't do is that we don't habit switch. We don't go from drinking alcohol to changing to sugar or um, sh- uh, energy drinks or something like that. We want to make sure that we know how to handle these cravings and not habit switch because hopefully by the end of this dry January, you'll see when you step on the scale, if you step on the scale, you might see your weight has dropped a couple of pounds. Number one, you'll drop some water weight and and all those empty calories that you've been consuming through alcohol, your alcohol consumption, you won't have those as long as we don't habit switch into caving into our sugar and thinking that it's okay to eat sugar because we're on this dry spell of alcohol. That's not what I want for you. So let's talk a little bit about how we can handle these cravings. Now, I want you to think about what is a craving. It's where your body is trying to tell you something. It's very similar. Now, I'm not a doctor, so just bear with me on this. But think about when you are hungry and you're sitting in a meeting at work and your stomach starts to growl and you are getting hangry. You're getting very hungry and angry because you're sitting in this meeting and it's quite boring and you're just over it. You just want to go get something to eat. But you have to sit in this meeting and listen to your boss ramble on about stuff, and you can't go anywhere until the meeting is over. And so you just deal with it because you have to. Well, same thing with the craving. We are going to just notice in our body that, oh, yes, this is what a craving feels like. This is what it feels like in my body. I am having this urge or this craving for alcohol or sugar, and I am just noticing it right now. This is what it feels like. And going back to that example of sitting in that meeting, you can, in that instance, it would be like, oh, yes, this is what it feels like to be hungry. But in our alcohol example, when you get home from work today and you're just sitting there and you're noticing, yes, this is what it feels like to crave alcohol and to crave sugar, and it's going to go away. It's just going to take a couple of minutes for it to pass. I like to think of it like, you know, a wave that is coming over me and it will pass. Same thing with a craving. I just think about it as, oh, yes, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the wave. I'm feeling the wave, and I'm going to let the wave pass. I'm not going to fight it. The more that you fight the wave or the craving, the more you're likely to give in to it. So we're just going to notice it being in our body. That is the best thing, because here's the thing. The cravings are going to lessen and lessen and lessen the more that you allow them and that you feel them. But the first time that you notice it, which you are probably noticing it today of all days, it's going to be it's going to feel the worst today. But I promise you, you're not going to die from feeling an urge or a craving for alcohol or for sugar. So that is, and listen, I know that this isn't easy to do because we're not trained to do it. But it's just like going to the gym. When you start working a new, you start doing a new exercise, you feel clumsy and you don't feel like you know how you're doing it right, and it's difficult and you're sore the next day. You're building that muscle, but the more that you do that same exercise over and over again, the easier it gets. You retain some of that muscle memory as you're doing the exercise week after week after week. The same thing goes with our cravings as we are learning how to handle these urges and these cravings. We get better and better and better at it. Before you know it, you won't even, by the end of this dry January, they will probably be gone, those cravings and those urges. Now, we are going to talk about triggers and social events and things like that in the next couple of days, because we have a weekend ahead of us. And I know that that is the hardest part for many of us, is getting through the weekends when we're dealing with, friends and family and social. And we're also going to be talking about, family members and those family members that maybe drink at night with us or on the weekends. So, and because that's kind of your support system, right? But also your friends. If you have friends that drink a lot and you're not drinking right now, how are you gonna handle that? So that is coming up soon in the next couple of days. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, just to remember that this is on your favorite podcast player and, of course, on X and YouTube, just so you remember. And then the next tool that I want to share with you, and many of you probably know this, but this will be a reminder for some of you and new for some of you. And it is called box breathing. And what this is going to do is going to take your mind off of this craving for a little while. And maybe when you're done with this box breathing, you are probably, the craving is going to, like I said, it's a wave. It's probably going to have already passed over you. And so just use this box breathing as a tool. I use this a lot. If I'm feeling angry or upset, or my fight or flight is going on in my body, box breathing, it's going to calm your mind. It's going to help you relax, and it's going to help you get through this craving and this urge. So this is just another tool for your toolbox. So how do you box breathe? And I know many of you know this, but let me just remind you. So it's going to be a 4 count of a breath in, and then 4 count of holding your breath, a 4 count of exhaling, and then a 4 count of holding. And that is box breathing. The best and easiest way to do this is to look at a window. So I've got a window over here, and you know that a window is square. Most windows are square or rectangular, but imagine a window in front of you, or look out if you're at your office or at home, look at your window, and a window has 4 sides to it, right? So you're going to basically trace the window with your fingers, and you're going to start at the top, and you're going to follow the top of the window with your finger, and that's going to be your breath in for 4 seconds. Okay, so you're going to breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to trace the window down on the right hand side, and that's going to be your holding for 4 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, and then you're going to continue to trace the window down on the bottom. That is going to be your exhale, hold, so your exhale for 4 seconds, and then you're going to trace on the left-hand side of the window all the way up. That is going to be your hold for 4 seconds. And what this does, so you're going to, and if you're watching me on YouTube, you can see this, but if you're just listening, I am basically like outlining an imaginary window in front of me. And so you're going to breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 1, 2, 3, 4. And I would do 4 cycles of the box breathing and watch what happens for you. So really give this a chance. I'm telling you, it will work. It will help you to to help this craving pass through you instead of giving into it. Okay. And then the third thing is, now remember, I said that I don't want you to habit exchange. So habit change into giving up one habit for another habit. And that would be, in this case, the sugar habit, because if you're craving sugar, we're not going to give into that. So what could we do instead? Well, what I recommend is that if you like fruit, eat a piece of fruit. It will help with that sugar craving. I love apples, bananas, anything. Fruit is not going to you're not going to gain weight by eating a piece of fruit. It is going to help you, and you're going to get vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, which helps with the aging process. So you're going to be fueling your body with I call it nature's candy. That's what you're going to be doing, is fueling your body with nature's candy, and it will help with that sugar craving. And I know that some of you also have mentioned that you are using some non-alcoholic drinks. That is fine too. Whatever you all want is fine. Remember, this is just, we're taking a break for 30 days, and then we're going to assess our relationship with alcohol at the end of 30 days, whether we want to keep cutting back, or whether we don't want to drink anymore, or whether we want to casually drink, or whatever. We're going to get to that here at the end of this challenge, at the end of this dry January. So for today, those are the things I want you to remember, is that we're going to feel this craving. We're going to feel it in our body. We're going to notice it, and we're going to recognize it. And we're going to say, yes, this is what a craving or an urge feels like. I feel it. I understand it. Just like if you're hungry, you're like, okay, yes, that is a hunger pain. I feel it. Like if you're sitting in that meeting. And then you're going to use your box breathing, and you're going to outline that imaginary window and do that 4 cycles. And or you're going to eat a piece of fruit if you would like. That's going to fuel your body and give it nutrients and antioxidants and vitamins and minerals. And or you can also use some of those non-alcoholic drinks out there. I know that Apothecary, I've heard of them. I've not tried them. Maybe I'll try them and come back on yeah, I will. I made up my mind. I will order some of these non-alcoholic beverages, and I'll come back and report to you guys here next month what I think about some of these non-alcoholic drinks, such as Apothecary, and I don't know, there's a few of them out there. And then I'll let you know what I think about those. So the other thing that I do like to drink is Perrier or Pellegrino. I just really love the bubbly, and they make a lot of bubblies out there with like mango and grapefruit and cranberry and blueberry. So I know that I do enjoy those as well. But I mostly drink water and decaf coffee. That is kind of my default drinks that I've been drinking for the last 3 years, as well as sometimes Pellegrino and, sparkling water with some natural flavors. Although I do try to steer clear of the natural flavors. The reason why is because I notice in the morning when I wake up, I have dark circles under my eyes. And I know it's from the natural flavors inside of those bubbly flavored drinks. And so I'm very cautious about that as well. But I just want to give you some ideas that, hey, you know what? These are the ways to handle the cravings. All right, you guys. So day 3, almost done. You can do this. You can do hard things. I know that you can. I'm really proud of you, and I cannot wait to see you all tomorrow. We are going to start filling our toolbox with tools to help us with the weekend. So I'll see you back here tomorrow. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.